Welcome to the Music Production Podcast, the show about all things making music. I'm your host, Brian Funk. You can find my work at brianfunk.com. Right now, you're hearing a piece of music I did for January 2020, Day 5. January is a little challenge to make some music each day and share it. What the sounds come from are a sample of the checkout line at a local Costco. Very crowded, busy, lots of people. And the sample was just that crowd and the cash registers beeping. And the key sounds you hear in the music were made from me isolating that little beep of the cash register and building instruments out of them. Now I've made that instrument, those two instruments I made, are now available for free download. My 190th free Ableton Live Pack, the Costco cash registers. I think they sound really cool, and you can have a lot of fun with them in your own music. I was quite surprised at just how rich and alive they sounded, especially considering how the sample sounds. Maybe what I'll do right now is let you hear this sample. So here it is. And if you listen, there's kids crying, people talking, and there's those beeps of the cash registers. And by isolating one of those beeps, I was able to create these instruments, and this is one of them right here. And I put a few effects on them. There's a tremolo, there's a filter. I can turn those down if you want to hear it. And there's also a delay you can add in. I think they came out really cool and can be a very useful sound for lots of kinds of music. There's also one that's more of a pluck. And I've set it up with an arpeggiator. And all of that comes just from those little beeps of the Costco cash register. I really didn't have any intention of doing that and making these instruments until I was already doing it. And that's one of the cool things about January. And today it's kind of what I want to talk about some. The surprises you get when you actually just get to work and do something. I managed to create these sounds from these Costco cash registers, not because I was very inspired to do it. It was because I sort of had to. I was trying to keep this thing going with the January, do as many days as I can. So far, I've only missed one day, but that's because I spent that day recording a podcast and packaging up all of the projects I made for my Januaries for my Music Production Club members. So if you are in the Music Production Club, you will be getting all of the sessions I create during January, all of the presets, including these Costco cash registers and many more. I think I did about like 20 something Korg MS-20 sounds to add to the other 30 that I had. And whatever comes up, you will get. You will get to see the projects, how they were made, and also have these sounds to use in your own productions. But the thing that I want to talk about today that relates to the creation of this instrument is that there are going to be some days when you just don't feel like doing your work, making your music in this case. I say making music, but I think this can apply to pretty much everything in life. But as far as making music goes, there are going to be times when you just don't want to do it. You might be tired. You might not feel well. You might want to just sit down and watch some TV today and relax. And there's nothing wrong with that. But I think if you can pull yourself together on these days in particular, the ones you really don't want to do the work, and if you can get yourself together and actually do it, you have really conquered the inner demon inside you. You've really conquered, as what Stephen Pressfield would call, resistance. You've fought the force that is trying to prevent you from doing your work, and you've won. And I believe day 5 of January was one of those days for me. And truth be told, Most of those days have been these difficult days. I've not really been able to get to my jams until very late at night, knowing that I had early mornings the next day. But if you can get to it on those days, it means that you can do it much easier on the days where you do feel motivated. It gives you this power. This is something that really came clear to me, not in music making, but in exercise and working out. And I got this from my martial arts training from my teacher, excellent teacher. I've spoken about him before. That was one of the things he always told us was that if you can get here on those days when maybe you don't feel 100% and you're tired and you can show up and you can succeed and get through the class or get through your workout or get through your music making session, then you can kind of do anything because you're doing it and you're performing at this diminished quality, this less than perfect version of yourself. So when you do feel good, that should give you some extra confidence to actually do your thing. And, I keep coming back to music, but I really think this is an important lesson in so many aspects of life. And I didn't even learn it through music. Like I said, it was through martial arts training. And January has put me in that position a number of times. I'm really excited to share that Costco cash register sounds with everyone because that wouldn't have existed if I would have succumbed to the resistance, if I would have given in to my own exhaustion, if I wouldn't have just pushed through. I think I may have mentioned that in the live stream. I'm live streaming all of these too, which is an added pressure and an interesting dimension to the whole task of having to do music every day. And there's a lot of lessons to come out of that. But if you can pull it together, maybe right now you're not feeling it. Maybe you put on this podcast because you're avoiding doing your music, because you're trying to convince yourself of the fact that maybe you are being slightly productive, but also not feeling super lazy about it. That's a great way we fool ourselves as we do things like learning or reading or watching tutorials or anything like that instead of the actual work. Now, of course, that stuff is all super important and it's a great way to grow by educating yourself and listening to the music production podcast. But it doesn't replace the doing. If anything, it should just be like a little seasoning on the meal. The meal, so to speak, should be the actual music making. And then you can add a little flavor to your music making by studying, learning, listening, watching, all that stuff. So for today, I'm going to keep it kind of short because I would like to try to do some January myself, and I am pressed for time. I packaged up a free Ableton Live pack today. I'm trying to record a podcast. I've got a few important emails to get to as well. And I want to groom my dogs tonight. They could use a little love with all this January stuff going on. So we'll keep it short. But perhaps if you are in that position where you maybe turned on this podcast and it's often over an hour, so you thought you had a lot of time today, how about you use that time to do some music and make some music and get to work? I can't tell you how good it feels to be going. Like I said, what was it? I guess it's 11 out of 12 days so far. Today's the 13th day. I got to make that happen today. But that's just a great motivating feeling in of itself that I've been able to do it and also come away with little bits of music that I feel relatively proud of, that I think there are some good ideas in there. Not everything is a gem, but it's nice to hear that I am learning, I'm growing, I'm getting through the process of making a somewhat complete piece of music in a day. So over and over again, you're going through that process. It's very empowering. And if you can do it on the days when you feel like you can't do it, then think about how much more empowered you would feel on the days you feel pretty good. You'll know that you have it within you to really soar and succeed. Thank you very much for listening. And again, if you thought you had more time to relax and listen to this podcast, how about you trade that time in for some music making? Have a great day. Good luck.